Welcome, Fellowship West and friends, to our annual Sabbath Sunday. This is an annual practice for us, and it's rooted in some deep traditions, but also in a couple of really core beliefs. First of all, we believe that the church is primarily a people that we belong to, not necessarily a place we attend. And so while our regular corporate gatherings are an important part of what we do, that particular event doesn't really define the church. It is the people. And so every year for the last decade, we've encouraged people to gather together as families, with friends, small groups, and kind of participate as a spiritual community on Sabbath Sunday. Sabbath Sunday is also deeply connected to us modeling and practicing the rhythm of Sabbath. Sabbath in Scripture comes from the Hebrew word Shabbat, which simply means to stop. It was something God gave to his people to cause them to pause, work, all of those things, and put their trust in him. And so we believe this is actually a practice that helps us more deeply follow in the way of Jesus.
Yeah, so if you haven't practiced Sabbath before, Sabbath is a 24-hour period generally where we stop working, where we rest, where we delight, and where we worship. And those are kind of the four components of Sabbath that we're encouraging you to participate in this Sabbath Sunday. Stop working, stop housework, stop checking your email, rest, do things that are restful to your soul, sleep in, take a nap, hang out with family, delight, play games, have fun, engage in things that bring you joy, and of course, worship. Take some time to be intentional, and we're going to have some exercises to invite you into to really use this time intentionally to connect with God and with one another.
So what we're going to do is we're going to kind of take you step by step and help you practice Sabbath Sunday together.
So Fellowship West family, as we close out another year, this year for Sabbath Sunday, what we're encouraging you to do is to practice a year-end examine. And we've got a couple different options that we're going to offer you. One that's really great for families to do together. Maybe you, instead of coming to our church service, you guys sit around the fire, get cozy, have your warm drinks, and talk about some of these questions together on our more family-oriented examine. Or for adults that want to take this practice a little deeper, we have another one that's a little more in-depth, more geared towards journaling and reflecting really in a deeper way about the year that you've had. So if you've not practiced the examine before, the examine is an ancient practice created by Ignatius of Loyola, and it's just a way of reviewing a period of time through spiritual eyes, looking for where God was present, looking for where God was working, looking for where we felt far from God or we maybe strayed off the path a little bit. And this is never meant to be self-condemnation or to really be hard on ourselves. It's more a way to just observe what has happened in the past year and take a look in a deep dive and a conversation with God about what he's done in the last year, where we've traveled, the memories we've had, the moments of joy, and the hard moments, and really prayerfully kind of consider how God was at work and revealing himself through all of these different events of the last year. So we really encourage you to take some time as we have this week off of meeting together in our regular gathering at church and really set aside some intentional time to reflect on the year we've just had so that we have a better perspective as we're going into the new year ahead.
As Casey said, the examine is not about self-condemnation. I think sometimes we get a little anxious with reflective exercises because we're a bit nervous about what they might reveal, and I understand that. But our hope is that your posture, your approach to this examine will be a bit like taking your car to a skillful mechanic. Just a week or so ago, I took my daughter's car in, and the trusted mechanic that I've known for a long time came out, and he revealed to me a couple of things that were going on within the car that were not good for it, that kind of had it out of whack, as it were, but I just wasn't aware of it. And he was able to easily fix those things, which, as a dad with a young driver on the road, I'm like super eager to make sure I get this right. So this examine is not about you fixing yourself, but it is about us taking stock, allowing ourselves to kind of review what's going on inside of us. And I'll speak for the men who might be watching this. We oftentimes feel most uncomfortable in the areas of our life that are deformed, the areas of our life where we don't feel competent, where we're just simply not crushing it. But that is actually where spiritual formation takes place, in the areas that need to be reformed or need to be formed from the beginning. So this examine is about us taking an opportunity and allowing the Spirit to kind of work inside of our minds and hearts to see what's going on. What's healthy? What's beautiful? What's right? What's worthy of celebration? What feels a bit off? Where do we feel like there's a gap that we can then invite the healer, the physician, the good Father who's free to give us wisdom and guidance and gentle grace in this journey. So here's what we're going to do today. We're going to stop again. Shut down the email. I want to encourage you, maybe take 90 minutes and be free from your cell phone. And we're going to stop and we're going to rest and we're going to delight, eat good food, feel free to take a nap. And one great way that we can practice worship, this fourth component, is to do what the original prayer of examine said to do. Search me, O God. Like, look within me and see what parts of me are not lining up in the way you desire. And then what David does, what the psalmist does, what we're inviting God to do is, hey, bring those into alignment into this next year.
So friends, we hope you have a wonderful Sabbath Sunday. Sabbath is a beautiful practice because it really reminds us who we are, God's beloved. Adele Calhoun says we don't have to justify our existence by striving. Instead, we can rest in the fact that we are God's beloved, and nothing we do can change that. So we hope that this is a beautiful day for you.
Yes, our goal would be that today you feel rested, not exhausted. That your heart and your mind ends not in a scattered, anxious state, but in a grounded state. What a better way to enter into the new year than in a rested, grounded state of mind, state of heart, with the Lord for what He has next for us. The examine that we would love for you to practice, and you don't have to complete it today, you can think about it as a week-long practice, is available at fellowshipwest.org/Sabbath. If you're seeing this on Facebook or on YouTube, you'll see it in the comments or in the description. But we've got several resources, including a guidebook, to help you as you work through your Sabbath day, including some special resources for the kids. Once again, fellowshipwest.org/Sabbath. From Casey and me to you, grace and peace.